I'm a certified complainer. I'm gonna complain about where I work every time, because guess what? I don't want to work.
The morning, you want to be able to do things on your own terms, but you can't because you have to get up and go to work.
I've been seeing a lot of content about people talking about how much they don't want to work jobs, and I'm gonna be honest. Not looking good, Chief. As someone who's worked a ton of different jobs in my 20s, I can completely empathize with the idea of not wanting to work for anyone and being your own boss. However, I believe this mindset can become a little dangerous if left unchecked. And since I've gone through the trenches of what this frame of thinking can bring, I wanted to shed a different perspective that could possibly help or maybe save someone one day. Now let's be honest, working does kind of suck. No one really likes to work, but we have to remind ourselves of why we went on these professional ventures in the first place. And most importantly, it's important to express a sense of gratitude that you're even in a position to make any kind of income considering the economy that we're in right now. I make it a habit to pray and constantly thank God for what I have. I very well could be stuck in those warehouse jobs doing menial labor for pennies, even when I was working 2 jobs as a personal trainer and doing entry-level IT trying to make it into cybersecurity while also studying for the CCNA and burned out of my mind. I continue to express gratitude that I can even pay my bills and my life is fairly chill. I started working when I was around 16, like I was cutting grass and spinning sides on the side of the street for $30, and oh boy, once I got paid, I was immediately buying those PSN cards and I was getting to work. Once I graduated high school, I worked at Walmart and that sucked, and as the years gone by, I started working at Budweiser, warehouses, Amazon, real estate, DoorDash, personal training, and now cybersecurity. I've done a lot, but personally, I believe that my journey could have been expedited if I'm more open to the idea of hard work early, as well as recognizing the value of the jobs that I had. I thought the exact same as all these other folks. I want to be my own boss. I want to work for myself. I want to start a business and become financially independent. You know, all these buzzwords that people are using nowadays. So in pursuit of that, I dabbled in stock trading, drop shipping, you name it. I was gonna be rich. However, the problem with that mindset is that I believe it sets you up for failure by vilifying jobs and creating unrealistic expectations. We see all these people on social media making crazy money, and of course you want a piece of that, but what isn't shown is how many people risked everything and still lost it all. What isn't shown is how many of those people quit the jobs that they're complaining about in pursuit of entrepreneurship and now are at zero. I completely understand that you have to take some kind of risks to get somewhere in life, but some risks, especially not calculated, just aren't really worth it. The reason why working a regular job in the meantime is so valuable is that it creates a sense of duty and it builds a solid work ethic. These attributes are invaluable as they're soft skills that bleed over into the rest of your life. If you can commit to your work, then you're more than capable of committing to yourself. And to touch on the being your own boss thing, I'm sorry to say this, but everyone's got to answer to somebody. Just because you're an entrepreneur doesn't mean that things get easier and you have no bosses. You just realize that your customers became your new boss. And it's also interesting how people go with things like YouTube in pursuit of being their own boss when they don't realize that the algorithm is their boss and you can't send an email to the algorithm. A job is also valuable because, wait for it, consistent income. There is absolutely nothing wrong with collecting a check every 2 weeks. You're not a loser, you're not a square, you're not a puppet. The goal is to just make some money, and if this place is gonna keep paying you, there's no reason to let it go while you're building, and trust me, it is so much easier to build when you have consistent income coming in. When I was a real estate agent when I was 21, I had the same mindset of I'm gonna sell $1 million homes in LA, become super successful, yada yada yada, but in the meantime, I was unable to even afford a $50 super lock because I had no job. If I had just gotten a separate position and worked real estate after work and on the weekends, life could have been a lot different. But unfortunately, I got bit by the entrepreneur bug like everyone else, and I refused to get a job, and that only made life so much harder for me. There is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to be on your own, but you have to realize that you need some stability to get to that point. You don't just teleport into millions of dollars. Now, I personally do have my own entrepreneurial aspirations. However, I understand that maximizing my time in corporate America to increase my income will only give me a better chance at my own ventures down the line. In the meantime, I'm gonna just keep on stacking my money and putting my money towards something that I find more important for myself. Now, that's gonna be everything for this video. Thank you so much for sitting down to talk with me. Have an amazing day.